Okay, so Penny's bumblefoot experience. It's gonna be a two-part video. I'm gonna do what we used for the first half, and then the second half I'll do wrapping a duck foot, because wrapping a duck foot can be tricky. So we'll go step by step on how we did that. Hopefully that'll help people out. So anyways, this is what worked for us, and this is what we did. I'm sure there's many other options and ways you can do this. This is what worked for us. So I thought, I've had lots of questions, and so I just thought I would share what worked for us. So first, Penny went to the vet because Penny had a lot of swelling. And that was my main concern with her, was her swelling. I didn't want her to get compartment syndrome, which is pretty much where your swelling gets so bad it cuts off circulation to the other parts of her foot, and I didn't want her to lose a toe or the leg or whatever. Her swelling had gone up from her knee, from her ankle into her knee, and so I knew there was some serious infection in there, and we needed to get antibiotics in her so she didn't get septic and die, and so on and so forth. So her case was a little bit more severe. So a lot of the stuff you don't have to do for a minor case of bumblefoot. So starting off, we soaked twice a day. Epsom salt, warm water, twice a day, morning and night. And then ointments. Started off with antibiotic ointment, which you can use. And then I found some Silvex. This is a dressing gel, wound dressing gel, and it actually targets E. coli staph, which is one of the main bacteria for this bumblefoot is staph. So this kind of attacks staph, E. coli, MRSA, VRE, a lot of other bacteria. I use this a lot. This was helpful. Another big thing, and this is just, you should just have in your arsenal of duck first aid, is this Vetricine, can't say it, for any kind of wounds. I use this a lot. Pride, can't say it, don't know how to say it. This is a drawing salve. So if you have a milder case and you're not going to use antibiotics, this is going to draw out some of the infection. It's going to dry up the ulcer and help you get this out. So this is another good handy thing to have around. One thing I did learn from my vet, he did give me some information that I learned through this information packet, was bulky dressing. Optimal healing is to get the pressure off this ulcer and off this, so a bulky dressing. So what I used was cotton balls, and you pack around the ulcer. So it takes the support and pressure off of the ulcer to help it heal. So like I said, we used cotton balls, packed it around the ulcer, and then wrapped with vet wrap. Vet wrap comes in 4-inch, 2-inch, 1-inch. Most of the time I used 1-inch, ran out. I had 4-inch around, so I just cut it in half, made it 2-inch, it worked great. So I would wrap this around the cotton balls. Make a little bulky dressing, and if you've never used vet wrap, it sticks to itself. So just wrap it on. I still would use tape. I have silk tape. It's a more of a firmer, stickier tape. And if you squeeze it like this, you can't get it apart. And that's why it works so well on animals. So has many other names too. But that's vet wrap. So all this stuff you can get at Walgreens, you can get at Walmart, you can get at your farm fleet stores. Sometimes if you can't find it in your chicken sections, you can get it in the other farm where they have medications for cows and pigs and horses and whatnot. So those are just the basic medications. Keeping it clean, keeping it moist, keeping it covered. You're gonna have to debride the tissue. In your more mild, severe cases, you're gonna have to debride the tissue. So you're gonna have to have tweezers and maybe some little teeny scissors or something to get that out. But you have to be patient. It took 5 days of soaking Penny's foot for it to actually want to kind of loosen up and the whole ulcer would start to move. Because we had to soak, like I said, twice a day, Epsom salt, warm water, and to start to shrink that ulcer or stop it from growing and start to kind of shrink up and kind of pull away from a healthy tissue, so you could get it out easier and safer versus just ripping it out and causing more bleeding and more tearing of the healthy tissue. It's a 2-person job, so if you can get somebody to help you, that's even more beneficial. But it's going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight. Be patient, day by day. Taking a little bit of the dead tissue off day by day helps. Booties, I get a lot of question on the booties. Booties are great for a milder case or a preventative. They probably work better in a house versus outside. They get super dirty. So I would sometimes use them. I got a bigger size to put it over her bulky dressing to make the dressing last a little longer. But I changed her dressing twice a day because we soak twice a day. So it wasn't that big of a deal, but if it was kind of a rainy day, I'd throw the bigger booty on it. But you got to keep them clean. You got to wash them. So they're kind of more for maybe like we're using booties now because it's just a little scab that's left. So I'm using booties now. Another good thing is that I learned from the informational packet I got from my vet was vitamin A. So that actually helps. How do they put it? Increases the resistance to infection. Vitamin A. Didn't know that. So she got that in her diet. You can also, there's a lot of antibacterial properties in some like oregano and some other herbs. So they get that in their feed. So that probably helped a little bit. But the biggest thing is patience and time and soaking. And this is some vitamin A that I use. I use this for many other things too. I use the D in there helps too for calcium. They need D for to help their body absorb calcium. So they also get that for when they're having soft eggs issues and stuff. So that's what worked for us. Soaking twice a day, keeping it wrapped, the ointments, and that's it. If you have a mild case, you can take care of this through just drawing salves and ointments. But once you get more of a severe case where you start to get a bigger infection and swelling, that's when you kind of have to get a vet involved. So stay tuned for the other half. We'll go over wrapping her foot.